Hello and welcome to today's live coaching webinar. Global, international people tuning in from literally all over the world. We have Tony K tuning in from Salisbury in the UK, Stella Holman, Eastbourne in the UK, Victor Zeng, my brother, all the way from Singapore, the Republic of Singapore, like 4 a.m. in the morning. So kudos to you, brother, for tuning in. We have Vikash Dhingra from Den Haag in the Netherlands. Holland is in the house. We got Jill McGann from Dublin. We got Johnny Pedersen from Norway. We have Sarah Hardy from Galway. And we have Andrea from Slovenia. Dobre večer. Okay. We got Victor Nabus from Ireland. We got Pia from Dublin. We've got also in Ireland Rose Langford from Laos in Ireland. Recording Tony, no problem. I actually remember. We got Virag Jolka from Tatabánya in Hungary. Okay, Martin Pringle from Corby. Awesome. Okay, and we have, who's that? Estonia's in now, Katra from Estonia. So fantastic. Well done for being here. So it's great to be here. I mean, just want to share a few things and then I'm going to bring a guest speaker on. Okay. So let me first say that, man, we are in such an amazing place as a company. Some great things are happening. Let me just sort of share with you some updates because it's important, and then we can sort of move and bring our guest speaker on, who will be Tony K. Right. So first of all, in case you don't know this, right, we as a company basically attracted over 200,000 new members between November and January, okay? 92,000 members alone in January. Guys, we are in momentum with a capital M. Actually, capital O, capital M, capital everything, right? So just understand, we just completed our, obviously our momentum series of events where literally tens of thousands of people, actually attended. So, that was in the USA. Then we had an event in South Africa. Then we had an event in Europe, obviously in Barcelona. And then Victor and our Asian team just had their event in, in Kuala Lumpur, and then there's actually one more remaining, which will be the one in Australia. Okay, so man, I mean, you probably saw the pictures on social media of the different events. It's just incredible. I mean, what's happening around the world. Okay, so be in no doubt that you're in the right place at the right time with the right company, with the right product, with the right systems, with the right management team, with the right everything. Okay, this is a rocket ship which is preparing to take off. Okay, so, and obviously, I'm just going to talk about a building block. Guys, look, if you're serious about building this business, right, show 20 or 30 people what we have fast. Okay, if you show 20 or 30 people in the right way, i.e. either take them to a presentation, invite them to a presentation, travel party, or webinar. There's the WV Sprint. There's a webinar happening every 4 hours up until United. I don't know if you know that. So that's 3 p.m. Athens time. So that's either 1 p.m. European time, okay, UK time, or 3 p.m. Athens time, and then 9 p.m. or 7 p.m. UK time, 9 p.m. Athens time. Okay, every 4 hours. So every 4 hours it's happening, but for Europe, etc., they're the 2 times that it's happening. So you can invite people to webinars. You can invite people to have a look at a video online. You can invite people. So the thing is, this is the key. But look, if you sign up 6 platinum members, if you sign up gold, you need 2 for each platinum. Essentially, within an 8-week period, if you do that, you will, number one, earn $320 commissions at least. Okay, if they got like if you have 2 gold members, then you know you're gonna get some more. Then if you do also achieve that, you will win a free Mega Rockstar trip. Okay, you'll also get you'll have your fall for your so your membership fees are waived, and you will earn 1,200 Dream Trips referral points as well. So this is if you sign up 6 Platinum members within an 8-week period. Okay, so this is what I'm teaching my leaders and you know my team is that's the building block. Basically, that's what you do. And anyone who's serious. So I mean, obviously, this is for serious people. I mean, like you know, this is for people you know like who are really serious, going to go crazy with it. So you know, you're gonna have to show 20 to 30 people the idea. Okay, and then you know you'd expect like at least 6 people to join, unless you're doing it completely the wrong way or you have absolutely no credibility with the people. Then you know you'd expect that, right? So this is what you do, and this is what you teach. I mean, obviously, if you do it yourself, right, even if you've been in the business a long time, you do it. You create a story. It's a story that you can share with people. Okay, so this is key. And here's the thing, guys. I mean, like, you know, sometimes like people say, like, oh, you know, like, what do I do? Like, you know, how do I motivate myself, and like, how do I sort of like get out of the comfort zone? Because essentially, you know, here's the thing. I mean, it's like doing this business. If you're serious about like, you know, creating a life-changing income with World Ventures, you know, I don't know what your number is. I mean, you know, whether you're like, see, normally the what I call the financial peace number is the number that matches, you know, how much your bills are every month. Yeah. So if you imagine that, like, I don't know, let's say your bills were equivalent of $1,000 a month. I mean, you know, in some countries that's true. You know, it could be a few hundred. I mean, I know in Hungary, the average income is less than $500 a month. So their monthly living costs is much less. So when you hit senior rep, you know, making an average of $500+ per month, that's life changing there. Obviously, in the UK, that could be like $1,500, $2,000, you know, with your rent, mortgage, everything else. In Ireland, it's probably a little bit more because the cost of living is a lot higher. But whatever your financial peace number is, okay, right, you know, you should have that as a goal and a target. Yeah, and you got to think about like, number one, why would it be so awesome to achieve that? Can you imagine that you know every month you have the peace of knowing that your bills are covered every month by your residual income? I mean, that's incredible, right? Okay, when I achieved that, like, you know, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago, I mean, it was just the most amazing feeling. Yeah, and then from there you build, you know, like the more you make after that, above the financial peace number, that's when you can start creating lifestyle, you know, like, you know, even just $1,000 or $2,000 a month above your bills, right, will give you a fantastic life, the ability to travel, you know, like every couple of months, that kind of thing. And then obviously beyond that, then that's when you start creating wealth. Okay, so you know, one of the things that I teach people, you know, when I'm coaching and mentoring, is that, you know, when you make money, don't just waste it on things you don't need. Build wealth. So, you know, invest the money, save the money, that, you know, eventually that money is working for you and creates another passive income. Okay, so that's you know, something which is important, because there's a tendency, the poor thinking way is when you make money, you just blow it on stuff you don't need, right? Don't think like that. You know, if you haven't already read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, it's up there on my shelf. But you know, that book will teach you the principles of how the rich think. Okay, and then, you know, like, see, once you know why you're doing it, and obviously put yourself in a position. I mean, just imagine, you'll hear me say this a lot, you might have heard me say this before, but can you imagine if you were just if you were making $5,000 a month passive residual income? Okay, that 5,000 a month is coming in every single month, whether you now work or not. And like, how would it make you feel? I mean, like, imagine that's in, 3 years time or 5 years time or whatever. Okay. However long it takes. I mean, that's more than most people make in the Western world. On average, okay, but how would it make you feel, right? How would your day be? What car would you be driving? What house would you be living in? What destinations would you be traveling to? Who would you be spending your time to? What causes would you be, supporting? Think about it. Position yourself. Like, imagine what your dream day is. Like, close your eyes. Imagine what your dream day is going to look like. Okay, and try and sort of feel that moment. And you see, that's what drives you, motivates you. Because the thing is, if you don't do it, if you don't get out every day and consistently put in the work, show some people. See, there's 3 things you do, and actually, it was Efrosini Adamidis who actually shared this on Facebook the other day, and it's bang on. We just do 3 things. We focus on just 3 things, right? The first thing is we share our gift with the people we know, friends, family, the people that we associate with, and the people that we meet, okay? Secondly, we attend events, okay? This is key. I mean, like, look, hey, if you want to make 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, $1 million a year, okay, then you got to get skills, right? So if you've never made that kind of money before in your life, then you need new skills, okay? And it's the big events. Not only do you get the skills, you see the bigger picture, you're going to hear from the best, you're going to associate with people succeeding in the business, you're going to hear stories from the stage of people who will inspire you that you can relate to and think, oh my God, I can do it. If that person can do it, I can do it. That was me, okay? And then obviously the third thing is use the product, take a dream trip. We've got a Croatian mega dream trip coming up in June, I think. Is it June? Okay, whenever it is. But if you search mega dream trip on your Dream Trips app or the website, man, book that trip. It's like one of the best dream trips I've ever been in. I've done that twice, that particular trip. So that's it. 3 things: share the gift with people, attend events, and do dream trips. Simple formula, okay? And then rinse and repeat. Get people doing the same thing. Simple, 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 okay? And really, I mean, that is the key. So let me, that's sort of pretty much what I wanted to share. I want to bring on Tony K. So Tony K, one second. Promote to panelist. Let me just bring Tony on. Just hold on. Tony K, I can't hear you. I can see you, but I don't hear you. It could be you need to go to settings, audio settings. Hello?
Hey,
yeah,
you hear me?
I have you. Tony K, how are you?
I'm good. I'm wondering what to say. You just said it all.
No, actually, so one of the reasons I wanted to bring Tony on, let me just introduce Tony very quickly. Tony K is a veteran in the industry of network marketing. I'm very, very happy that he is, personal to myself and Peter. And, we've been working with Tony since the beginning, like 9 years. He is a director with us. I mean, he doesn't really need to do this, like, from a financial standpoint, because, well, first of all, he has a portfolio of properties, so he's a rich dad, poor dad thinking guy. He had a very successful, I'll let him tell the story. His wife is a super, super famous and successful opera singer globally, okay? He has immense experience in the industry. And the thing is, we were talking actually the other day, and Tony was actually sharing with me that, like, he was like just using the 5-minute video, 5minvideo.com site, which obviously we put together, 5minvideo.com. Someone could type that in, okay, and having great success, like, with using the follow-up site and that kind of thing. So, I mean, Tony, just share with the people, first of all, just give them a little bit of back. You've got a great story of how you got into network marketing. Just share that and, like, that simple system, which is working. Yeah.
I'd be happy to. Thanks for the introduction, Shush, and pleasure to be with you this evening. It's Shush and I shared a really great evening together out in Dublin, just a couple of days after Barcelona finished. And it was great to see the Irish team doing their own presentations. And we were especially lucky to have Josh Payne and Jim Menge with us in the audience. And it was a really terrific evening. So we were having a chat, and I was telling Shush in a somewhat enthusiastic way about why I felt that the system that we have in place today is so wonderfully straightforward and wonderfully simple, and exists in a form that is utterly and completely duplicable for all of us, which is the key to attaining wealth and time freedom in network marketing. Now, I'll just very briefly tell you why I got involved in network marketing 28 years ago. And that was because it wasn't for the money. Most people do. Most people see the potential of earning the kind of figures that Shush was talking about. And dare I say it, without wishing to sound negative, perhaps one of the principal reasons that people start in network marketing is more from a sense of greed, if you like, or attaining possible wealth. I remember when I took up Taekwondo at the age of 18, my one desire was to chop everybody into little pieces. But 2 years later, I realized that I was part of an art form, an Eastern art form, which was far deeper than anything I'd seen on the surface. And it's the same with network marketing, because in this industry, you will acquire and learn all the skills that you need if you're going to persist in order to attain financial and time freedom. And please accept it from me, because I'm 67, that to me there's no wealth in life if you don't have time as well as money. I often say to people, look, if I was designing the perfect life for you, I'm sure that the two ingredients that I would need would be the money, so that you can purchase whatever you need to purchase, but the time, and also so that you can enjoy whatever it is you need to purchase. And I know when I talk to the various different people in my team, they're people who are doing this not because they want time and money for themselves, but they want it for somebody else. I have people in my team that are trying to build hospitals in Africa. They want to look after their parents. They want to donate to charity. They want to enjoy themselves. They want to have a comfortable lifestyle. They all have different reasons, but the two raw ingredients are always time and money. So the first thing I always do, and I'm going to take you now through the system that we've got in place really quickly, if that's all right with you, Shush, just from A to Z, and I hope that will be helpful to you, because this is exactly what I do with every single person who decides to get involved in World Ventures. And the very first thing I do, I sit down with them and I paint the scenario that Shush just painted at the beginning of this call. I say, just imagine that on the 15th of the month, and I choose that date very carefully because that's the month we get our monthly paychecks. On the 15th of the month, you wake up, you go to your bank account, and you see somebody's put in £10,000 or dollars or euros or whatever your currency is, and it's there for you to spend tomorrow. And I ask people, what are you going to do with it? And invariably the answers come back, well, first thing I do is I start paying off my loans, my debts, my credit cards. Then perhaps if there's a bit left over, I might put a down payment on a car, and I'd also start paying off my mortgage if I have a mortgage, or I get myself out of a financial hole. I say, that's great, that's wonderful. But on the 15th of April, they're going to put another £10,000, euros, or dollars into your account. What are you going to do with that? Because you've now paid off most of your debts. And they start thinking about that. And you begin to see the light bulbs come on. But I won't move on to the next part of the system until they've written down what happens to their life when that amount gets paid on the 15th of May, June, July, and August, and they begin to realize that they can design their own life. Because once that's written down, staring at them is their why. And one of the things you have to remember in this business, it is the Achilles heel of this business, is that it costs $145 to get started. And the biggest mistake people make is they treat it like a $145 business. Now, I'm a businessman. I set up my first business in 1974, and it cost me £35,000. It was managing opera singers and classical musicians, and it took me 5 years to break even. £35,000 in 1974 is about equivalent to about £150,000 today. So I had to borrow money from my parents. I borrowed money from the banks. I remortgaged my house. I did all the things that traditional business people do. So there was never a moment in my mind where I ever got up in the morning and thought that I'm not going to work. That option wasn't open to me. I was in hock to banks and parents and everybody else, and I had to get those monies in. I had to get them paid back. So I worked like crazy for the first 5 years, just to break even. And the number of people, and I know Shush will agree with me on this, that I see come into World Ventures, see the potential of this business, which is bigger than the one I started back in 1974, pay their $145 and then do absolutely nothing. They don't pick up the phone, they don't call anybody, they don't do anything. So that's the reason this first step is probably the most important. You can't work with somebody until you know why they're doing it. And once you know why they're doing it, you then can always remind them on a daily basis when they either fire themselves or they work for themselves, because they've got that choice, about what's going to happen if they simply don't do the rest of the system, because they're literally moving back to the life they came from. It's only cost them $145 and absolutely nothing's going to change. And that's very sad. So in that answer comes the principal reason why I do network marketing. As Shush said, I don't do it for the money or the finances. I actually do it because of the gratitude I get and the recognition I get when I watch other people begin to succeed and begin to create themselves as either senior reps or directors or moving on to marketing directors, whatever it is. And it's absolutely fabulous to watch that process. So now let me just take you through the rest of the system. And bear in mind that the system has to be able to duplicate from one person to the next. So whatever I say from now on has got to be really easy to do, right? So I bring somebody up, or I speak to somebody, and I never change the inviting process. The inviting process is to tell someone you're in a hurry, clear the date, sound excited, and confirm the date. So I might ring up Shush and I might say, listen, hi Shush, it's Tony here, how are you? You might say, great. Say, listen, Shush, I'm in a bit of a hurry, but are you free on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock? Shush might ask a question, you might say yes, you might say no. He doesn't know, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to call you back another time. But if he says yes, I'm going to say, great, I'll meet me for a coffee at Starbucks in Marble Arch. Something rather exciting to share with you. If he asks me what it is, I'm going to say, Shush, I'd love to explain it to you, but I'm in a bit of a hurry. I don't think I could do it justice over the phone. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. That's my call. So that's the inviting process. You heard from Shush that that's one of the three things that Efrosini said we do. It's a skill you have to learn, and you have to do it again and again and again until you can do it in your sleep, okay? It's as simple as that. And so that's the inviting process. The next point is they're going to come and see a presentation. Now, I don't mind if it's a presentation at Marble Arch, or there was one last night at Archway, or perhaps there's going to be one in Stratford on Tuesday, or there could be one in Rome. It doesn't matter where you're inviting somebody. They're going to see a presentation. And it could be the 5minvideo.com. I love it, 5minvideo.com. I think of the last 6 people that I've signed up into World Ventures, 5 of them joined at the end of the 5-minute video. They didn't even want any extra information. But there is a link at the bottom of there which takes you onto the longer video and also the compensation plan if they need it, okay? And so when you do the presentation, it is absolutely vital, now hear this, that before that presentation starts, you must do what's called the 3-step setup. If you don't know what the 3-step setup is, there is a quick coach video in your World Ventures app. But I do the 3-step setup like this. It's the 3rd step I want you to listen to. I say, look, the reason I'm doing this is because I have this dream of buying a €2 million house on the Amalfi Coast in Italy. That's why I'm doing it. It doesn't matter where it doesn't apply to them. And I say, I'm doing this, whatever happens, I'm all in, I'm completely committed. And then I say this is the 3rd step. I say, look, this may or may not be for you. I really don't know. You might see it straight away, in which case at the end of this presentation, you and I are going to be business partners. Or you might not get it straight away, in which case at the end of this video, our relationship is going to be exactly the same as it was before we started. Now, the reason I love that approach is because I've closed the deal before videos even started. I've told them we're going to be business partners or nothing's going to change in our relationship. Now I'm set up, ready to do the presentation. Presentation is just click on 5minutevideo.com, sit back in the audience while somebody else presents at a live meeting, whatever you like, do a one-on-one, do a two-on-one, and at the end, you have to close. So I do the close that we've been taught a million times at the various events, which is, well, I guess you can see now why I'm so excited. What did you like best? Was it the money? Was it the travel? Or was it both? And I shut up. And they usually say, well, it was both. Say, great. Are you ready to get started? And I put my hand out to say, are we business partners, right? And I don't say a word. I just sit there with my hand out. And only one of three things happens. They either say yes, in which case I immediately open my app, go to the flag of their country, type in their name and say, great. What's your date of birth? And we'll move through the application process. If they say no, then I always say the same thing. I'm so happy that you gave me the time and I'm honored to have been able to share this with you. Could I just ask you for a small favor? Could you perhaps mention the name of 5 people? I don't want the telephone numbers or emails at the moment, just the name of 5 people that you know that love to travel. Just who you know love to get on planes, go places, have holidays. People can think of those really quickly. And then I say, can you come up with another 5 names, 5 different people who would you feel could really use with making some extra money? These are very simple questions. Once I've got the 10 names, then I'll push them for the email addresses and the telephone numbers, because I'm going to contact them later. And I will advise them that if any of these people are interested, I'm going to get back to them first, but only on one, and ask them if they're going to be the sponsor or I'm going to be the sponsor. And if they say, well, I need more information, then my answer is ask me anything you like. But if you feel that the reason you need or you want to think about it, or whatever the objection is, because they're all the same, it just means the timing isn't right. If you feel that the timing isn't right for you to do this, don't hesitate to say this to me, because I've got a list of names in front of me, and this is very important. You should have your list with you at all times. And if they say, well, okay, no, I'm going to have to wait, that's fine with me. Look, when I started in World Ventures, I made 42 calls. Shush knows this story. 7 people joined immediately, 17 people joined within 10 days. And believe it or not, another 8 people joined over the next 5 years. So it just shows that some people's timings are instantaneous, some are quite near to getting started, and some will wait a long time. But there's always a reason why people join when they join. So I'm never frightened about people saying no. But what I do with the people who say no is, with my list in front of me, I take my pen and I literally cross their names off the list in front of them, because they can see 20 or 30 more names on that list underneath them. It has a devastating effect, because sometimes they look at me doing that. They go, well, wait a minute, hold on. What are you crossing me off for? I mean, you know, come back to me in about 3 weeks when I get paid. I might be really, you know, and things like that. People don't like to be crossed off your list. Trust me when you do that. And that basically is the system. The only other 2 things that you really have to remember is, once you've helped them to join, the other 2 things that Ed Frasini come into the equation. The first thing you make them do is show them that they should be booking a dream trip in their first 90 days, because they are going to get a phenomenal discount over and above what we get when we book a dream trip, because they're new. These are special discounts available for people in the first 90 days. And the second thing is, mention immediately that training is part of the whole process of developing to the point where you can earn £5,000 or £10,000 a month. And the next training, the next big training, is going to be in Dublin, but the next regional training is going to be in London. That's for us, that's for me, right? And I immediately say, we should book those straight away. The regional training, you should have no problem with. It's $49, and that's a very special price, believe it or not. So you can get in for that. And that, believe you me, you don't even have to push the Dublin training, because that will be pushed for you at the regional training. So I never push people into spending $299 for a big training, because I know the trainers are going to do that at every single event that we get people to. So that's the system from A to Z. And that is exactly what I do, exactly what I teach, and exactly what I want to see duplicating down 10 generations through thousands of people without overcomplicating it. The last thing I want to say is the rule of my 3 £1 coins. I've got 3 £1 coins here. I come in the morning and they're on the left-hand side of my desk. If I make 3 contacts in a day, they go onto the right-hand side of my desk. And the idea is that I don't go to bed at night until all 3 coins have moved from left to right. Give it a try. It's great fun. Shush, back to you.
Fantastic. Wow. That is like, that is like the system. Obviously, I mean, one thing that I will add, the millennials tend to text. It's cool. You know, if that works for you, absolutely great. The only thing is, obviously, it's getting the 3-step setup. Yeah, the 3 steps set up. Okay. It's really the key thing. Okay. So obviously, whether you do that, I mean, you see, if you send a message to say, hey, look, I've got something that I want to share with you, then, and you share a link. I mean, you know, I know that some people do that and do it with great success. Somehow you got to get a message to portray your excitement, right? Okay, and why you're doing it, as Tony said. Okay, cool. Tony, that was amazing. So I'm gonna stop the recording now. Just hold on 1 second. So thanks everyone for joining. I'll be back same time next week, just before I head off to Egypt to see the real pyramids. Okay, hold on 1 second.